The senior divisional officer and elite of the Bui division of the Northwest region say they are going back to apologize to armed separatist fighters and their brothers and sisters of the separatist camp in the Bui division. They were speaking today in Bamenda at about the same time while one of their villages, Kikaikom, was being razed as fighting continues between the defense and security forces of Cameroon and armed separatist fighters in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. Day 3 of Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph John Gutte's visit to the northwest region of Cameroon was characterized by audiences granted to officials of different divisions, the 7 divisions that make up the northwest region. In the course of this edition of the news, you shall be listening to a traditional ruler of Mesiji who says the Donga Mountain division of the northwest region has gone for close to 2 years without electricity. Some of the worries of the Momo division of the northwest region were also echoed by a member of parliament, Honorable Enui, who spoke to our correspondent, our team of reporters and technicians who are currently in the Northwest Regional Chieftain. Still with Equinoxe. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining Equinoxe Television. We are on to our primetime newscast live from Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city, Equinoxe Central News Desk. We begin with a human interest story to say that bike riders of the town of Lom in the Mungo division of the littoral region today have gone to the streets protesting the decision of the mayor of the town of Lom imposing a huge sum of money on bike riders. The mayor says the money must be paid as part of their parking fees. The bike riders on their part are not ready to respect or go down to the decision of Mayor Guy, as Immaculate Fogo, rather Glory Malak tells us in the following report.
Tension has risen between commercial bike riders and council members of Lom in the Mongo division of the littoral region. Bike riders stormed the office of the mayor in disagreement of an amount of 17,500 francs imposed on them as tax payment for their parking space for the year 2021, which is closely coming to an end. According to a city-based bike rider, 2 years ago 11,000 was paid for this same parking space, but today they are asked to pay an amount of 17,500 francs. I pay my taxes regularly. The problem is at the level of parking space. 2 years back, we paid our taxes at 11,000 francs, and everyone paid. But this year, the mayor is asking us to pay an amount of 1,500 francs for a parking space every semester, which makes a total of 4 semesters at 6,000 francs. You now see where the problem is. That is why the total tax paid has been increased to 17,500 francs. Out of anger, some of these bikers forced into the council to collect their bikes while threatening to carry out a strike action. They also presented their problem, which is that of bad road network and constant flooding in the locality, which makes their activity even more challenging. 17,500 they are asking us to pay full resumption. We are yet to finish the children's school needs. According to the bikers, the activity is their main source of income, especially for some of them who are the internally displaced from the crisis-hit regions of Northwest and Southwest.
I'm coming from Bamenda, from Batibo. So they're trying to remove us from there. We came here, we are trying to have something to eat. So Impo is disturbing us. The remaining 2 months for the year to finish, they are asking us in Impo, what are we working? There's no work.
These bike riders need to understand that it is with this tax money that we are able to carry out road construction, and everyone needs to participate.
se comportent de la sorte comme si on était dans
The spokesperson of these commercial bike riders succeeded to calm the angry mob as he asked them to go about their activity while waiting for a final resolution to be made.
Way into the council. And some of the angry bike riders of the town of Lom forced their way into the council's head office, making their way out with some of their bikes which were intercepted for wrongful parking in the town of Lom. We are on that story and sure we'll be coming back to that. But still in conflict and protest, we take you to Ngodi Bakoko in the Douala Free municipality. Inhabitants of Ngodi Bakoko are accusing a local company, Transbois, of abusive environmental and sound pollution. Charles Ekome tells us that it took the intervention of the assistant divisional officer for the Douala 3 subdivision for normalcy to return to Ngodi Bakoko.
Inhabitants of Ngodi Bakoko in the Douala 3 subdivision are infuriated, exasperated and disturbed over the loud noise and vibrations provoked by industrial activities at the Transbois International Company. They say they are scared because the vibrations have been causing cracks on the walls of houses and disrupting lectures in nearby schools. They were voicing out their discontentment during a meeting with the company's officials and administrative authorities.
I'm scared. I'm scared of that. We are not in security here. And I think that we should look at the situation of our educational system and look on what to favor. What I'm trying to pose is, yes, which is much more important. Okay. Yes. Which is more important, industry or school? Industry or school, yes. Good.
The crack on the wall provoked by the vibrations coming from the company is unbelievable. Transbois has promised on so many occasions to look into this situation, but has failed to do so. This is a problem between all the inhabitants of this locality against Transbois. The general manager of the Transbois International Company, Menergie Charles, on his part, says the company has been law-abiding in conformity to rules and regulations governing company reforms.
There
is just one foreigner who works at Transbois. The rest of our employees are Cameroonians. We are working hand in hand with administrative authorities to enhance development in this country. It's true that we are all looking for security, good sanitary and living conditions. We at Transbois put in our best to ensure this. David Steve Mouini Sintat, Assistant Divisional Officer for Douala 3, was equally present at the meeting, promising to solve the problems decried by the locals.
Nous retenons tout simplement que les populations exprimées.
We retained one thing here today. The locals have expressed their discontentment in regards to certain problems they face as a result of the activities carried out at Transbois. We have promised to find ways of stopping the vibrations, amongst other problems which were decried here today.
Vibrations et autres trucs qui ont été décriés ici.
The inhabitants of Carrefour Azir in Ngodi Bakoko are looking forward for their community to regain its calm and serene nature as promised by administrative authorities and the Transbois Company officials.
An elections Cameroon Elecam official working in Mbonge in the Meme division of the southwest region has died mysteriously in the town of Akumba in the region. According to local reports, the official left Mbonge, passed through the city of Kumba, went to Buya for a mission, but upon his way back he died in the town of Kumba. Simadji Kangebro in the following report also tells us that a similar case was also witnessed in the west region of Cameroon, where a young man died in his house. A roundup in his report.
Shock and consternation gripped inhabitants of Ngi, a neighborhood in Chang, Menua division of the West region, after they woke up to discover the lifeless body of a 21-year-old boy in his room. Kemfak Michel, who was formerly a barber before changing to become a truck pusher, was discovered dead by his friend. I came to collect the truck that I gave him. When I arrived, I saw his door open and I called him on several times, but he didn't answer. That was when I pushed his door and got in to discover that saliva was oozing out of his mouth. I shook him severally, but he didn't react. Then I called his neighbors who came and saw it too. Immediately the discovery was made, elements of the 2nd Central Police Station were alerted alongside the doctor. With the presence of these officials, the corpse was taken to the Chang Hospital mortuary. 21-year-old Kemfat Michel is fatherless and his mother lives in Yaoundé. Kemfat Michel has been living alone for years now at Ngi Quarter in Chang. Elsewhere, an elections Cameroon official working for the Elekam branch in Bonge subdivision dies mysteriously in Kumba. Michael Mbile Ndile, who arrived Kumba from Boyer, collapsed and died on the road in Boyer Road. He went to the market to buy his stuff, after which he went to drop it in his house. He returned to the road and he was walking when he suddenly fell to the ground and didn't get up. Informed about the incident, elements of the Central Police Station, headed by the Commissioner of Police, Mbode Charles Amang, descended to the scene, accompanied by the State Council and a medical doctor. After thorough checks on the Elekam official, the lifeless body of Michael Mbile Ndile was transported to the Kumba District Hospital mortuary.
We take you to the northwest region of Cameroon within the context of the visit of Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute to say that the senior divisional officer and elite of the Bui division of the northwest region have said that they are going back to the Bui division to apologize to armed separatist fighters and their brothers and sisters of the separatist camp. They were speaking to Babila Jonathan after a meeting with Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute. They were speaking at a time when one of the Bui villages, Kikaikom, was being razed. Babila Jonathan comes back to the audience of the Bui delegation with the PM and their reactions shortly after the meeting with the Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister of the Republic of Cameroon, Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute, has been receiving delegations from the 7 divisions of the northwest region of the Republic, and with the members of the delegation, including elite and civil society leaders, among others. He has been discussing and examining the situation on the ground and the way out of the troubled waters. And one of the major things coming out of the meeting with the Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute is that the elite, the civil society leaders and others have to go down to the grassroots and talk to the population and talk to young people in particular. And we talk with some of the members of the Bui delegation, notably the senior divisional officer of that administrative unit, Lanyu Haringwani, and he told us that the Prime Minister has said they have to go and plead with the population.
The PM asked us to go back to the field and to tell our brothers and sisters that we are sorry. We are sincerely sorry for whatever has happened. Lives have been lost. Those lives cannot be gotten back. But the only thing we can do is that we have to face the reality. Tell our brothers and sisters, they are our brothers and sisters. We are sorry for what has happened. Please, drop your guns. Come out. Let us begin to rebuild our country while solving our problems. Because we cannot stagnate because we have problems. We are solving problems today and creating problems for tomorrow's generation. So there is no need, there's no reason for us to be killing ourselves. So we really want to seize this opportunity to appreciate the frank talk that we had with the Prime Minister, head of government, who has said that there is no need to be beating about the bush. Certain concerns were really, really genuine. And some people, out of anger, out of frustration and out of hope for something better, decided to take up arms. It is now our duty to go back to them and tell them, look, dear brothers and sisters, we are sorry for what happened. Please, the young ones, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years, your place is not in the bush.
We also talked to Professor Ashiri Kilo. She is the Secretary of State to the Minister of Basic Education. She was a member of the Bui delegation, and this is what she told us.
He has reiterated the fact that Bui has become the epicenter of the crisis, which is not fair to us, and that as elites, we should be able to talk to these children because the children are ours. We don't expect anybody else to come and talk to our children. We know them. And he just, reiterated some of the points that we have been making, that we needed to be truthful and frank to these young people. We need to tell them the truth. They will never have a southern Cameroon, never. So the sooner they understand that the government has given us regional assemblies, which within that, the special status as well, that we can use to reinforce our region, to do the things that we would love to have in our regions. We should take that and run with it instead of staying away in the bushes.
This is, of course, day 3 of Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute's working visit to the northwest region of the country.
Babila Jonathan was speaking to officials of the Bui division, the administrative, or the number 1 administrative officer, and the elite of the Bui at a time when the village you see on your screen, according to images widely shared on social media in Cameroon, was being burnt. It is one of the villages of the Bui division, and the village in question is Kikaikom. Kikaikom, one of the villages between the town of Kumbu and that of Tatum. All of the Bui division was being razed, and of course it was being burned down by yet to be identified individuals, but most reports on social media indicates that the village went into flames after a military attack on the village. Soldiers reportedly stormed the village in a search for separatist fighters, and several villages were set ablaze. It should be recalled that this particular village, or Kikaikom village, was one of the villages wherein an attack on Sunday, the 12th of September 2021, an improvised explosive device staged by separatists or planted by separatists on Kikaikom village saw the explosion of an armored tank vehicle of Cameroonian soldiers. That's according to an information released by the spokesperson of the Cameroonian Army, Colonel Research at Tomfak. The attack on the convoy of the Cameroonian Army on Kikaikom village on the 12th of September 2021 saw the killing of some elements of the Cameroonian Army. The Colonel Research at Tomfak linked the attack on Kikaikom to that of the Ngokitunja division of the northwest region, saying that about 15 soldiers were killed in the explosive attack. And also meeting with the Prime Minister were traditional rulers of the northwest region. Babila Jonathan hooked up with the president of the northwest traditional rulers, that's the president of the House of Chiefs of the northwest region, and also spoke with a traditional ruler of Misiji in the northwest region, and also some other traditional rulers. He compiled their reactions after meeting with the PM in the following extract.
It's unfortunate that Momo division is where it is, because a majority of those sponsoring the crisis out of the country and within the country are from Momo division. And it's a pity that most of the destruction, children not going to school, hospitals not even operating, every economic activity dead, is Momo division. We're so worried, and we have to express to the Prime Minister the worries of the Momo people and proposing some solutions on how this can be managed to talk to, because they are our brothers in the bushes.
And we shall be talking with some of these elites who were interviewed by our team of reporters, Babila Jonathan, Amos Fongo, Donna Brisa, Kamga, and Bustela. They spoke to His Majesty Kevin Yakum, who is President of the House of Chiefs of the Northwest Region, for Thomas Kibusi of Misiji in the Donga Mantung of the Northwest Region, Fu Calestus Gentry, an elite of the Donga Mantung Division, Honorable Enui Francis, the man you saw on your screen. He is an elite of the Momo Division, Mark Anthony Akumbom, Civil Society actor of the Mezam, Ufe Chinje Melo, Vice Chancellor of the University of Gandera, and an elite of the Northwest Region, precisely from the Momo Division, and Paul Chumbang, who is the Bamenda City Mayor. We shall be coming back to them, but coming up is Talking Point. And thanks for joining us on Talking Points. We are receiving Robert Keja. Thanks for accepting our invitation.
Thanks. Greetings to you. Greetings to all our viewers. Greetings to the Equinoxe institution. I'm here thanks to them, and a special greetings to Honorable Ngala Gerard and Honorable Jinga Musa, the Quaestor of the Republic of Cameroon.
Of course, it's not that you're talking about these people. You are a communicator of the CPTM political party at a time when the CPTM government in Cameroon is being accused of being directly responsible for the crisis we're witnessing in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. Of course, it will be difficult to talk about the CPTM without talking about the government. If you try to disassociate the responsibility of your party, which is the party in power, though the PM is going to Bamenda, at the same time he's an official of your political party, talking to the people, officials of the different delegations. You cited 2 members of parliament from 2 divisions, the Donga Manto and the Ngoketunja division. But now he was talking to many other delegates from different divisions. One, the delegation was that of the Bui division. At the same time, houses were being raised in Bui division. Some qualified it as a kind of carrot and stick method.
What is necessary is that when the people tend to blame the government, it's just a sign that the people recognize the government and they know they are in the territory, and the only person they can turn to is the government, because the government have the legitimacy to protect them. So it is normal that they turn to the government. Talking about what is happening in Bui, the Prime Minister obviously is in the Northwest to analyze the successes of the Grand National Dialogue, which we all know, and to look into some of the weaknesses of the Grand National Dialogue, which we all know, and to look for the way forward with regard to peaceful methods to bring back peace in the Northwest and Southwest region. However, his presence there does not stop to the military to carry out their activity of protecting the national sovereignty of the Republic of Cameroon.
Is that not contradictory where the PM says, I'm a peace crusade, I'm coming for peace, and at the same time the soldiers are on the field? The two, can they actually go together? How do people understand the peace messenger coming at the same time soldiers are on the war front burning houses?
It is very clear. The Prime Minister is a peace crusader. We all know he's a charismatic man. We all know that he's one of the most popular ministers we have in the regime. We all know all this, and he is going to ensure that he talks peace to the people so that they can preach to their children to drop their arms and come out. However, that does not stop the military that have taken an oath to protect the national sovereignty and integrity of the nation. So we should not mix two things up. The president took an oath when he was sworn in to protect the territory, same with military. They are doing their job and he is doing his job as a minister. I don't think there's a mix-up, but we have a division of labor.
All right, with the presence of the Prime Minister, he's the head of government, and of course the most important minister, you rightly put it there. Now, with his presence in the region and at the same time guns are smoking, is that a sign that to say that whatever he's coming to do there will be null and void, will have no effect on the realities on the ground?
Maybe I should come back to explain why the Prime Minister is going to the Northwest. He just left the Southwest to analyze the successes of the Grand National Dialogue, to know where they have succeeded. And if I want to tell you where we have succeeded, you realize that we do not have Cameroonians from the northwest and southwest region running to the to Nigeria as refugees anymore. We have seen many of internally displaced people going back to the northwest and southwest. We have seen back to school. We have seen many. So those are some of the successes he is going to see. Then he's also going to analyze some of the weaknesses that we can put more effort to go ahead. And what is important is that is the goodwill. He stopped somewhere around Matterson, walked for some kilometers, discussed with the common people to know what the problem is, so that when he goes back, he re-strategize and proceed with his movement to bring back peace. So I think him going to the northwest region and the southwest region to commune with the common people and speaking in the pidgin language which the people understand more, it is very important that he does that to really know as a prime minister his way forward. He has discussed with chiefs, he has discussed with commoners, he has discussed with everybody. When he goes back, then he will know the way forward.
And this is not the first time the PM is going anywhere to these regions. What makes you think that the effect of this time will be different, as in we are going to have normalcy returning after? What will be different with this visit?
You remember his last outing, he talked of the Grand National Dialogue, and there was one. But talking about his visit now, he was in the northwest region and realized that an Ambazonia general and his battalion of 12 people dropped arms. Those are one of the successes of his visit. He also went further to talk with the people of the northwest that there have been a compromise of the government moving from a unitary system and diving towards a special status. That is a compromise of the government, and our brothers in the diaspora should also give a compromise so that we can bring peace back to our regions.
Thank you very much, Robert Kezia. You are a communicator of the CPTM Political Party. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so very much for your attention. Stay in the company of interesting programs on Equinoxe. We shall be taking you to Yaoundé for the press review program, and back you shall be having Equinoxe and the news in the French language. A complete edition will be yours at 8 p.m.